here we go. Back out on the water. Traps have been soaking for a couple days. Generally, I only let them set for 2 or 3 days because after that, the crabs will start killing each other, eating each other. And they also will get out of the pots. A lot of people don't know that, but I've checked before where I've had a pot down for a day. I've had 6 crabs in it. Then I came back 3 days later thinking, oh, I'll have 18, and instead I only have 4 or 5. So that's just one thing to consider, is longer in the water does not mean you're going to have more crabs. So we're going to come up to the first pot. This one, I believe, is baited with chicken. This is actually the first trip of the year with putting the pots out, so not quite sure how we're going to do. You know, we've got 5 pots out. I'd expect, you know, on average at least 2 or 3 crabs per pot. But we'll pull it and we'll see. Everything is going to be rebaited with chicken, so I'll show you guys that in a minute. Let's go ahead and pull this up. Oh yeah, well, got 3 and a catfish, and well, that guy's hard. Another thing, guys, before you ever pull your stuff in the boat, make sure to get rid of that old bait over the side first. Trust me, you'll thank yourself later, because if you get that stuff in on anything, you're gonna smell like it for a day or 2. So generally what I do is I just empty them out here by my feet, which is, well, a little bit dangerous, but I'll survive. First, get this guy rebaited. Got a mix of chicken scraps and also chicken leg quarters that I get from Walmart. It's really the best deal for bait at any sort of store. You get a big bag for, I think I paid, it was $6.72. You know, sometimes they run deals where you can get them for $3 or $4, but right now, no. So first, let's see if we can get this catfish out. It's one thing you never want to have in your pot, but it does happen a lot. So, sorry, guy. Yep. Do not want to get stuck by that. Get this guy out. He's stuck in the pot here. He's got his arm stuck. It's a good thing he's only got one claw. There we go. Okay. Now, this setup, obviously, because I'm on a kayak, is not the easiest thing in the world, but it does work. The main thing is you have to be pretty smooth with everything you got going on because you have so much going on. So, let's drop this pot real quick again, and then I'll go ahead and put these guys in the bucket and get on again. And once again, we're in about, let's say, 6 feet of water here. there's a lot of different areas in and around, obviously, Tampa and Florida, with many, many different types of styles of crabbing. You know, I'm from up north, Maryland, which is known for crabbing, and down here, it's the same blue crabs, but the crabbing is really different. A lot of times, your hand lining doesn't work as well in most areas just because the water is so clear. That doesn't mean it won't work. It's just that the water is so much clearer down here that the crabs see you, and as soon as you get them close, they know that something's wrong, they let go, and that's that. So I do have some hand lining spots that I'll take you guys to and show you, you know, what you can do around the area. But a lot of times, you know, if I'm actually just trying to get, you know, a dozen or two crabs, I'll put the pots out and just go with that. It's a different kind of fun. So this pot, I believe, was Spanish mackerel. I do not have luck with fish in the crab pots here. Up north, used to kill the crabs with fish, but down here, I don't know what it is. It's just not, like I said, it's not the same type of crabbing. For some reason, I mean, chicken is always a good standby. It's really just what I go to because it's never failed. If the crabs are there, they're going to eat chicken. Let's check these guys out. Got one. This guy, it's a little light, but I'm going to check them all out first, and then see if we'll let that one go. Nope. No? Okay. Alright. Open the bucket. You see this guy here. You know, some people think that a yellow belly means it's going to be really full, but a lot of times when it's this color, that actually means that he shed not that long ago, and he's actually going to be pretty light. The other way to feel it is right back here on the swim fin. If you just squeeze that a little bit and it gives in, that's a pretty telltale indication that this guy's not going to be that full of meat. Yeah, decent little crab. He's probably about 6 inches, but not the big boys that we're really after. Still, this is a good crab. We'll put him in the bucket. We'll call everything later and pull this next pot. So once again, this one was Spanish mackerel. I really do not have any expectations for this pot. Typically when I put fish in a pot, I might catch 2 or 3. And, well, okay. Got a decent one. See, the mackerel's gone. I do have a spade fish. That guy will actually be bait. Wow. I don't know if you can see that, but the mackerel in just a couple days, that was a whole Spanish mackerel. That thing is gone. So we'll rebait once again. Chicken leg quarters. I typically put a couple cuts in it on both sides. It just helps the scent to come out better. Once again, I'm not letting these pots sit for, 4, 5, 6 days. I'm just 2-3 days tops. If there's a weather event, I'll get it out the 4th day, but that's going to be it. Yep, and that does happen. Especially when you get, a dozen crabs in the pot and you start laying them across your feet. You start to move pretty quick. So, first thing, let's get this guy. He's a small guy, but we'll throw him back out by the ramp so he doesn't go right back in the pot. And this guy's definitely a good one. All right, that's a good 6.5, 7-inch crab right there. I said this time of year, this is late June. You get a lot of big crabs early on in the season when they first come out of the mud after the winter. You know, Florida doesn't really have a winter, but compared to the rest of the year, it's winter. But then June and July, the big crabs kind of die off after shedding, or they move out. So it's really a waiting game until August, September, October. That's when the really big blue crabs show back up again. I'll show you guys this. This is a spade fish. I do find them in the pots. And unfortunately, he's going to be bait. Free bait. This guy's in Florida. There's no minimum size. So he's going to go in the bucket. And unfortunately, he's going to be lunch for some crabs another day. We are pretty lucky to have no wind today. That's one thing with my budget setup here. You do have to deal with wind, waves, weather. You really don't know what you're going to run into. And especially here in Florida, you know, 1 minute it's beautiful, sunshiny, and the next you turn around and you need to scramble for your life to get back to shore. So, got one more pot on this side. Now we've got 5 crabs so far. You know, but I think 3 of them are decent sized keepers. But like I said, this time of year, most of your crabs are going to be, you know, around the medium size. As you get closer to August, and then especially into September and October, that's when the crabs have really, you know, shed a couple times, and those mediums and larges become larges, extra larges, and jumbos. Which you guys will see. I've caught some gigantic crabs here in Florida that is just shocking how big they are. Alright guys, I believe this one was chicken. It may have been chicken and shrimp. A lot of times I'll just use whatever I've got sitting in the freezer that, you know, is way past due. Feel something kicking. Oh boy. Something ate the crab. Oh boy. Yeah. Well, we did have some crabs. And it did have shrimp in there. So, I don't know if you guys can see this, but this was a crab that had recently shed. And he gone. He got eaten by the catfish. That happens too. You do get crabs that go into the pot, they shed. And unfortunately, if they've got anybody else in there with them, they're going to eat them, because that's a delicious lunch right there. So, we're going to hang on to this because it's actually really good bait. And unfortunately, no crabs in this one. Not anymore. Got a pinfish and a catfish. Not what we're looking for. And yeah, this one did have shrimp in it. So should have known that shrimp is going to attract some catfish, but you never know. Sometimes in different areas, shrimp is one of the best baits. Fortunately, in Florida, there's just way too much that's going to eat it. So I generally don't use it. All right, well, this guy I'm going to put back out. And let's see where we can go here. I'm going to go a little bit shallower. That one was a little bit deeper, which sometimes works, but the first two pots were in, you know, about 6 feet. That one was probably in about 8 feet, so give this a shot a little bit shallower. All right, and here we go. So the two other pots that I have, they are usually in shallower. There's two things, kind of around the new moon, and around the new moon, you've got a lot of crabs that are coming in shallow to shed. As you can see, I had one in the pot that didn't make it, but that happens. Oh, and if you guys can see this, throwing this glide bait out behind us just because you never know here. I have seen cobia, giant snook, tarpon, all kinds of stuff running around here that you'd really be shocked that it's even out here. But we are in the upper bay and it's still salty, so you can find a lot of different stuff. I mean, look, right there, I don't know if you guys saw that. That was a snook. Anyway, here we go. All right, got that out the back. If we get something on the trolling rod, obviously, we're gonna have to stop and deal with that, but this is primarily just a tester crabbing trip. Beautiful day, though. We've got rain to the north of us, so I was trying to get out before the rain moves in. It's supposed to be really stormy the next few days, so didn't really want to mess around with, you know, maybe getting out today, maybe getting out tomorrow, because when you're on a kayak, you are exposed to the elements, to put it nicely. Guys, I will be putting my pots in different locations over the next few weeks, just to try out some different spots. Some spots that I haven't been to, some spots that I have been to. You can really catch crabs anywhere around Tampa Bay. It's not about, oh, you know, he caught them at this spot, so I need to go there. You can go anywhere in Tampa Bay and find them. It's just a matter of, if you go there, especially with, you know, like handheld traps or, you know, just from shore, if you're not catching anything after an hour or two, they're probably not there. For instance, we've had a lot of rain lately, and I was crabbing further up the bay, and it was good before the rain, and now after the rain, the crabs aren't there. So I'm assuming that the rain has pushed everything down the bay. Could be wrong, but I think that it's right. Now, one problem I am seeing is that I did have 5 traps, and I see one, but I do not see my other one. So, let's go and pull this one. Oh wait, it may have floated up closer to this other guy, I'm not sure. Anyway, we'll pull these and see. I believe I had these 2 baited with chicken. All right. Well, we got one. And up, well, we had a couple. And see, guys, once again, remember I said that the soft crabs were moving up, or I'm sorry, the guys that were shedding are moving. And look at that. We had, you see here, this is a shed shell. This is the soft crab, but he was killed by the other crabs, so he is going to be bait. Not for crabs, but man, best eating food on earth right there. Alright guys, let's get it rebaited. Once again, chicken leg quarter. Sometimes these leg quarters are huge, so I'll actually just cut them in half, use the leg for one bait, and I'll use the thigh for another. But okay. And actually this is pretty cool right here. See, this guy, he lost his claws at some point. He's starting to regrow them. These are soft. So this guy's had a hard life. I'm actually gonna let him go. Catch him another day. Well, we got one good one here. Okay. All right. Let's. This guy is a little ornery. See, this is the remnants of that crab that shed. Shell pops off. They back out of the shell, and that's that. So it's not a dead crab; it's just an empty shell. And then that guy, definitely going in the bucket. Alright guys, now I need to find my crab pot. And this is one problem with public crabbing is you do have people that will just take your stuff. I haven't had that much of an issue with this in a while, so it's definitely pretty annoying, but just something you gotta deal with. Well, I'm gonna go generally where it was, but that float definitely wasn't gonna go anywhere. Let's go ahead and get this guy in the bucket. There's another good crab. And this guy is, I mean, you can see how muddy he is. This guy is pretty hard. get this guy in the bucket. And unfortunately, it is not looking good for my other crab pot. Alright guys, once again, this was a tester trip just to see what's going on. Yes, there are crabs, but I had somebody steal one of my pots, so that's a disappointment to say the least. So, because we really don't have a dozen, we were definitely on track to get at least that much, but these guys are going to go ahead and go back. Catch them again when they're bigger, and catch them again when I have enough to really put together a feast. So, let these guys go. Still hanging on to the bait though. Let me see. No, definitely some good crabs. Nothing wrong with these guys. But I get to live another day. And you see, this is the smallest crab we got here. He's probably about 5 inches, but generally, I mean, that's just too small of a crab to eat. It's not going to be much meat, and in just another month or two, he's going to shed again. He's going to be, you know, 6.5, 7 inches. So you don't have to keep everything you get. In Florida, there's actually no size limit, so you can keep males and females as long as the females are not with their eggs. See if I can get this one without getting pinched. There you see, I mean, these are the typical size crabs for right now. This guy, once again, he's about 5 inches. This other one, maybe 5.5, 6. See that guy down there? It's about a 6er. But come August, September, you know, these guys are going to be anywhere from 6 to 9 inches point to point. And really, I mean, can't catch those guys every day, but they will be out here. So, like and subscribe, and I will show you those big crabs as they come. They're out here right now, but it's just not that many. All these guys, they're going to be shedding, and we'll catch them then. But right now, this guy's going back. Whoop, there he goes. And as you guys can see, we got remnants of that soft crab. This was a paper shell. You hear that? This one had shed, but is probably in the pot for, you know, a day or so, and is no longer soft. They get papery like that, and then they become like hard shells. And then we do have the spade fish, and use that guy's bait next time. Alright guys, well, I'll get another pot out here. A couple days, we'll go ahead and pull them again, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. If you like what you see, there's going to be more to come. I'd appreciate a like and subscribe, and see you guys in the next one.